Whiteside County, Dave Harrison in studio. Dave, you brought somebody with you today.
I did. This is Heather. Heather, if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Heather Luckritz, and I'm the new resource conservationist at the Soil and Water Conservation.
Very good. So how'd this come about for you? How'd you end up in Whiteside County?
I actually grew up in Whiteside County, so that's kind of like going back home for me.
Well, that is good. We got a lot to talk about.
We do.
But go Cubs, go. What's that at the top right there, Dave? What's that all about?
Hey, they're 2 games out. Yeah, they got beat by the Mets last night.
Yeah, I was watching that until they had the rain delay. I'm not going to stay up for that.
Oh, boy. But, yeah, hey, they're doing pretty good finally. So.
Okay, and we're getting squirrely kind of along the line with the Cubs, I suppose.
Yeah, kind of like that. In Illinois, at least, the squirrel season's open. It opens August 1st. Good luck being able to see anything out there right now. It's like a rainforest as far as the foliage and that. But it's a fun time to hunt them. I like to use a rifle, 22, and you might get a shot at one out of every 5 as you see them, because they get inside the branches and then you lose them. But it's great. And as far as cooking, I tell people I eat squirrels and they look at me like I'm crazy, which I probably am. But I like to brown them, in a pressure cooker, maybe 5 minutes on a side, and then put about 3/4 of a cup of water with some seasoning in it, and just pressure cook them. And the meat falls right off the bone, and it's excellent taste. Even those big fox squirrels, which can get a little bit weird sometimes taste-wise, it's just delicious. And it's a good protein. It's clean, and they're vegetarians, so.
Kind of ties in line with your next subject, nuts, really nuts.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like in other timbers. I've seen a few of them, but in my backyard, every one of my bur oaks, the red oaks and the pin oaks, have acorns on them right now. And I can go out and probably count 20 different squirrels every morning out there. And, the goofy things are getting in my bird feeders now. They're eating my suet, so that's the bad thing. But if you're looking at doing a direct seeding this fall with acorns to plant trees, this would be the year to do it. It looks like it's going to be an incredible mast crop for the oaks this year.
I have a walnut tree in my backyard, and it seems like every other year is a big year. So last year was huge. This year, not as much. Is that typical?
Yeah, and even with the oak trees, like my bur oaks will take 2 years off after a real big, mass production. And I would expect that's what's going to happen next year. We probably won't have acorns at all. The red oaks seem to be a little bit more consistent, but those bur oaks, you're right. There's a break for a year or two, and then all of a sudden, they get that energy stored up, and out come the flowers, and there's acorns everywhere. So
again, visiting with Dave Harrison. We'll talk to Heather a little bit later on in the program. We'll save some time for Heather. Third deer permit lottery coming up.
Yeah, if in Illinois at least, if you're a landowner, resident or non-resident, you can still apply for a deer permit through the lottery system. What I would suggest to you is go online. IDNR's got a really user-friendly website, and you can see which permits are available for which county. I hunt in Carroll County in Illinois, and when I checked before I applied for this third lottery, there were still, I think, over 2,000 permits available. So, check and see. It'll give you a breakdown which permits are available, whether antlerless or either sex, which you can harvest either buck or doe on. And you got until August 18th to get those applications in.
Now, you said you go out into Carroll County. Is there a particular farmland that you go to? I would imagine, of course, you need to talk to the landowner first of all.
A buddy of mine's I hunt between Mount Carroll and Savannah, where, and there's quite a bit of woods up there, and it's I guess you would call it, was part of the driftless area. It's real steep and bluffy, large timbers and broken farm ground. Don't trespass. There's plenty of public ground around, and you can apply for specific permits for public ground too.
Oh, interesting.
Deer hunting permission's tough to get anymore. You can try knocking on doors, but and IDNR does have a program, depending on the county, where they actually lease hunting ground from landowners where people can go on, but just do need a specific permit for those places.
I think last time you were talking a little bit about whether you're in a stand or on the ground.
Yep.
You were talking about you were primarily on the ground? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to be 65 in a few months, and it's getting harder and harder to climb trees. And hunting in a tree is really effective, don't get me wrong. But I've had really good luck hunting out of a small tent. You still have to play the wind, And, I got my grandsons hunting. And that's why I started hunting out of a tent was with them. I didn't want to haul them up into a tree. They were little kids. And I put them in a tent, and we've killed deer ever since then. So.
Cover crops, early
Yes.
versus late.
Yeah. Heather's got a program going in the office right now where you have cost share, right?
Yep, we have cost share money available. You can get $40 an acre up to 80 acres. So come on into the office and get signed up for that, and we'll help you get all set up.
Yeah, and in Iowa here, I would check with your NRCS and SWCD offices. I believe in Clinton County, the office is in DeWitt, if I'm not mistaken. And see what's going on in Iowa, too. But in Illinois, the State Department of Agriculture has a fairly nice program to help you out. And there may be some free seed available, too, right?
Yep, there should be some coming, and we can put that on our Facebook page and get that out to everybody.
Heather, what's the advantage of having a cover crop? Or Dave?
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, well, actually, there's several. One, it helps, depending on the cover crop, it'll help hold the nitrogen in the field, so we don't have that problem of nitrogen going down the tile lines and it ends up in the Gulf of Mexico, and then you have the hypoxic area down there. The other thing is soil erosion. If you got something green and growing with roots out there most of the growing season, it's going to help keep that soil in the field out of the river. So, we got the Mississippi River right in our backyard here, so we got to keep it clean.
We're moving along very well on our talking points here. Number 6, fall seeded food plots.
Well, that relates kind of to the cover crop. Some guys like to, and it's a very good practice to do for deer hunting especially, or turkey hunting. They like to put out a fall small seed cover crop. Things like oats, turnips, beets, radishes are all attractive to deer and turkey. They'll eat the greens that grow early in the fall, and then they'll actually dig up the bulbs and do that too. I've seen them dig through frozen ground. Now, this is deer, but they've gotten to the point where they smell those bulbs, especially turnips underneath the ground. They'll actually dig through frozen ground to get them. It's
Incredible.
amazing.
Yeah, that is.
And one other thing on that too.
Yeah.
The turnips are actually very tasty. I like them better than I do potatoes. You mash them, or you can chunk them up and fix them just like boiled potatoes. So they're great.
Bows, arrows, and slugs.
Yeah, this is the time to be practicing. Sight in your arrows, your bow and arrows, your crossbows, your slug guns. Don't wait until November, a day before the season, and go out, or not at all. And for slug guns, or even arrows and bows and arrows and crossbows, 1 or 2 shots. And if you're a couple inches high at 50 yards, you're probably right where you need to be. And that'll take you through the whole season. But at least take a couple shots, make sure that scope is zeroed in and that gun's shooting where it should be.
Now, being a hunter, what is a slug gun?
Well, a slug gun is basically a shotgun that shoots either a piece of lead or copper. And now what they've got, they have them rifled. So you actually have like a short-range rifle now instead of just a smooth bore. And they're really, really accurate. And I'm not bragging, but with the gun I've got set up, I have a little single shot with a really heavy barrel and a scope. I can hold pretty close to an inch at 100 yards, and that's more than accurate for deer.
I would think. I would think so. That's awfully good. Plums, plums, plums.
Yeah. For those of you who have wild plums, either in your wildlife or at the edge of your timbers, this is the time to be out there picking them. They're starting to turn red, and when they turn red, they get sweet. They have it's kind of a yellowish, deep yellow flesh to them, similar to what a domestic plum has, but they're really sweet this time of year. The only thing I would warn you, if it's got any green or yellow on it, don't pick it and eat it yet, because it'll be really sour. It'll be like eating a lemon. But they make great jelly. You can eat them just off the branches, but another warning. A friend of mine was doing this, and I've done it too, so eat berries, apples, whatever, right off the tree. Don't do it. Last year he got really, really sick, and it was based on bird fecal material in the fruit. So, and birds will feed on the plums, so take them home, wash them real good, and then prepare them or eat them, whatever way you want.
Good advice. So, point number 9, teal, September 9th through the 24th. Early goose, September 1st through the 15th.
Yeah, and check your Iowa regulations. This is for Illinois. Okay. So,
yeah.
But on the river, a lot of times, the seasons will coexist. Or if you're on the river, you can hunt as long as you can get back to the channel. But yeah, for Illinois, teal season's 9th through the 24th of September. And for the early goose season in Illinois, it's the 1st of September through the 15th. There's a reason for both seasons. I didn't know I was a poet. The teal, the blue-winged teals migrate early. And they'll come through real early, and they head down to Louisiana usually. And so if you're going to catch the blue wings, you have to have an early season. The only thing I would warn you, the times for teal seasons, it's a half an hour later. You have to wait till sunrise on that. The reason for that is they don't want you to be shooting other ducks. This early in the season in September, a lot of those ducks don't have full color plumage on, and it can be a little hard to tell, especially wood ducks from teal sometimes. So don't shoot a half an hour before sunrise. You're going to be illegal. Wait until sunrise, and then you can shoot the teal.
So this is primarily based on their migration pattern? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then the goose season is based on, they've become a nuisance in Illinois.
Oh,
and I think in Iowa too.
Yes.
If you're a golfer or own a
Yes.
golf course, you know why it's bad to have geese out there. They can actually destroy a golf course. Both from what they're leaving as far as after they eat, and they're like similar to sheep in that they don't snip off plants when they eat them. They literally pull the whole plant out, root and all. So if you have a nice edge on a golf course, a green, something like that, and you get 20 or 30 geese moving through, they're going to destroy your greens.
There's plenty of them out there. There's no
boy.
doubt about that. Whitetail fawn recruitment looks good.
Yeah, just from what I've been seeing around the county on different farms I've been on, there's a lot of fawns out there this year. So it should be a good season this year, and that bodes well for 2 to 3 years from now, too. We've had a real good, birth rates, and for some of you that drive early in the morning, late in the evenings, that may not be real good, because that also means there's going to be more deer on the road. So with that in mind, harvest in Illinois, at least, and I think in Iowa, is going to start here in about another month. There'll be some early harvesting going on. That and the breeding season for deer starts late October. So keep that in mind. There's probably going to be more animals out there, and the roads might be a little crowded, so be careful.
I've got a couple of brothers who do hunt, and they enjoy some of the preparation jerky. They like making deer jerky.
Oh, yeah, right.
What about you?
Yeah, we eat it. We don't exclusively eat venison, but probably 90% of the meat we eat is game, and a lot of venison.
I know some people make it with chili.
Yeah, the ground stuff we make into chili. We've learned to just adapt recipes to it. Like Italian beef, you use Italian venison. We have sausage made. I haven't gotten into making my own sausage yet. I'm kind of lazy.
No, you're not.
Yeah, but yeah, venison's an excellent. It's good pure protein. It's lean. There's no additives in it, and it's a great source of protein.
We got a minute. Our final point: soil moisture.
Right. For our farmer friends out there, I think they're aware of it. We're in a deficit right now as far as moisture, and we've had decent enough rains. I think the crop's going to be okay, but going into next spring, there's still going to be a deficit. So we need some fall rains, we need a good snow cover, and winter rains that's going to percolate in and not run off. So be aware of that, from a farming standpoint, there's something to worry about there.
Heather, how'd you end up at Whiteside County?
Well, I grew up in Whiteside County, and when I saw the job was available, I'm actually an animal science major, so just learning about the agronomy part of it, and so.
Where'd you go to school at?
Went to Wisconsin Platteville.
Okay, they got a pretty good program up there?
Yeah, it's a great program, great school.
How'd you find out about it?
About the position?
Yeah, no, about
about
Wisconsin.
college? Just college visits, checking them out, so that was where I felt like home.
So you're just getting started?
Yep, this is only my 4th week, started my 4th week here.
Okay, so now Dave, are you going to continue to come in, or is she going to be
I don't know,
going
that's up
solo
to
here
her.
in a
That's
little
up to her.
bit? You see how it's done now?
I know, he's good at it.
He's very good at it. There's no doubt about that. Well, pleasure to meet you.
You too.
And Dave, I would imagine you'll be in September, I would think.
If she will lets me.
Oh,
She's the boss.
Look, she's shaking her head. I think she's going to let you. Thank you both for coming in today.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
You're listening to AM 1340 KROS, Clinton, Iowa.
FM 105.9.
And KROSradio.com.
This is Radio Iowa. One of the last Iowans convicted in the January 6th U.S. Capitol riot was sentenced on Monday. 26-year-old Salvador Sandoval of Ankeny is ordered to serve 7 years in federal